What's up, guys? Welcome to Fourth and Average. I'm your host, Chris, followed by my co-host, Prevo. We're missing Cody today, but that's okay. Who misses Cody anyway? He just gives us all of our stats and information in order to inform you guys and entertain you guys. But he did his job in advance, so he's a great co-host for that. So we have a lot of stats courtesy of our buddy here. But we do have a special guest. We do know this man. Um, from our younger days and when he was a wee lad and he grew up to be a wee man. And and
That's
he is going
crazy.
we love him. We love him.
Yeah,
It's
we
okay.
do.
We're allowed to say it. You can't. So don't comment that.
Yeah.
Don't comment
But
below
comment
the
something else
yeah,
and hit the
big
like button and
and
subscribe.
subscribe. So he's going to help us talk about the NFC North today, though. So he'll be on for that. And he also came up with our draft topic. So we actually, we kind of owe him one for that one, and it's a good one. So comment when we draft, comment who you think won below. I'm going to be drafting true to kind of what I personally believe is my top five. That's not a cop out. I think I win it anyway. So
For sure.
we'll be doing that as well. But we'll end the show with some NFC North talk. So do you want to go ahead, Prevo, and bring in our man?
Yeah, I'm gonna wipe my camera real quick because yours looks way better than mine for some reason.
And I'm dude, I'm using the camera on the Mac.
I am too. All right, anyway, here's Dom.
Okay,
Where's he gonna be looking?
don't know what thing. Dumb. Oh, there he
Oh,
is.
let's go. Good
Oh,
entry.
wow.
Good entry.
That was pretty good. What's up, Dom? Can you hear us?
Audio
Oh,
now.
There
oh,
we
there we
go.
go. There we go. Okay, I can hear you. There you go. Awesome. So I like the setup. I like the setup. It's already a good preview of what we're going to be talking about today. We already did the introduction. We talked about the draft that we're going to go ahead and do, but since you came up with the idea, go ahead and introduce the topic of our what our draft's going to be about.
Okay, so our draft is going to be about the greatest sports video games of all time. So I already gave this as an example, but NCAA Football 14 is what comes to mind first for me as one of the best. There
Dom
may
gets
be
first pick,
some
guys.
there may be some historical sports video games that we don't say, but they may just predate us.
We can do a comment honorable mentions. We'll even probably right after the draft, we're probably going to go through a list of honorable mentions that we were like, maybe it could have made it in if I remembered it or something. So we'll do that list, but comment yours as well. And
Comment
also,
something.
Yeah.
we need to figure out who's going to go first. And already, I think we should just spin a wheel or something, put our names on there. But Prevo, if you can do that for us, I'm going to have,
I'm
yes, yeah.
no, I'm
But
I'm screen mirrored to that, so I can't.
can you do it on your
Oh,
phone and just show it on your phone? You know what
My
I'm saying?
phone screen mirrored to that.
I could do it.
Okay, Dom, actually, that'll be a good task for you. So, while you're doing that, I
Yeah,
want you
make
to
a wheel,
tell it.
pledge. Spin a wheel.
Make a wheel. This is how we treat all our guests. But anyway, as our first guest, go ahead and tell the audience a little bit about yourself. You can talk about how you came to know us as well. A little bit of, just who Dom is for the crowd out there.
Yeah, so I met Prevo and Chris growing up very young. We hung out all the time and played baseball together from age 12 through, well, we knew each other before we started playing baseball at age 12, probably around age 8 for myself, and Chris was around 12, 13 at the time. And we have been friends ever since. So we've now grown up a bit, as you can probably tell, and living in vastly different places from where we originated. Besides Prevo, he's still relatively close. But
Willie for life.
yes, I am clearly your non biased commentary for today's episode's theme. And I now live in Washington, D.C., which is a great time and certainly a switch up from small beach town where we grew up. But the city life has been treating me well. Beyond that, I don't think there's anything else too fascinating about my life to share, but I hope that you guys enjoy me being on the show, and I'm very thankful to get the invite to be here.
Absolutely, Dom. And a little bit of why he's on this show too is because growing up, we all like sports, and I think Dom fit right in with his vast knowledge of really just a lot of different stuff, not just the Packers. He was able to learn a lot. I think I taught him a lot of it as well. I like to think that. So, but nah, he was definitely one of my little brothers growing up, along with my real brother Sam. So who may or may not make a guest appearance at some point. But Dom, do you have the wheel, or I already got it up too?
I
So
do.
I was.
Are
Oh,
we
sick.
ready?
All right. No, you got it. Yeah, go
All right,
ahead. So
first
this
pick.
is for first pick. Oh, who is that? Who
Who do we
doing?
got? We got Chris. Chris, first pick in the draft.
Y'all are gonna be surprised, I think. But all right, and then yeah, we'll go ahead and do the wheel again. Hey, let's do best 3 out of 5.
Okay.
Okay, so it's gonna be a series.
Here we go. We're spinning
For
again.
pick two.
Wait, this is for. Wait, why? Can you take mine off, Dom?
Oh,
Can you
yep.
take? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do that. Hold on. Respin. That doesn't count for Prevo. Sorry, Prevo. It has to be fair. Has to
Has
be
to be fair.
half. Yeah.
All right. We got Chris off the list. Apply the
That's a
change.
real quarterback jersey back there, guys.
And we're going to spin it again. Here we go.
All right. Here we go. Best 3 out of 5. Here we go. All right.
We
Prevo's
got
up 1-0.
Prevo.
Here we go. I wish we were doing like suspenseful music or something
In
like
post,
something
in
in the
post.
background.
Yeah, we'll edit that in, guys.
Yeah, if you've watched our
Well,
videos, we do so
wait. So
much
now
editing.
it's just me, right? Because then that's it.
No,
If we take Prevo off the wheel.
no. The final two, it was supposed to be a best 3 out of 5. So like Prevo was up 1-0 in the series, and then if you got picked, it would have been 1-1. And you
But
see
I
what
had
I'm
to take
saying?
you off the list.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because you
because
got
because
first.
I got first, like boom, and
Oh,
then
I
the
see.
final
I see. Okay.
guest is
So
messing up the
there's
show,
one to
Prevo.
Prevo. Here we go.
It makes me question ever inviting guests again.
Here we go.
All right, so 2-0. All
2
right,
nothing. All right. Gotta mount a comeback.
that's the most dangerous lead. Here we
And
go.
it's over.
Let's go.
3-0. Oh
Clean sweep.
no.
Clean
Oh
sweep.
no. Well, see you, Dom. So, well, that's all right. Cool. So we're gonna do a snake draft. I think we discussed that, right? I said that
Yep.
beforehand. Snake draft. Okay. So, Dom, that comes with a little, um, silver lining there. So I'll go ahead and start us off. MVP Baseball 2005 with Manny Ramirez on the cover as my 1-1 on the PS2. Launch that left stick back and just mash the power button, and it's gone every single time. My number one, most fun. I took that game, and I took my PS2 when I made the All Stars, when I was on Super Optimus All Stars, and we went up and played in the state tournament. I took my PS2, and we had tournaments going on in my hotel room with MVP Baseball 2005. It was the most legit time. I didn't even care. I mean, we finished third in the state. Not bad. I was in the newspapers for batting over 400 during the state tournament. Whatever, whatever, whatever. But most importantly, most, most importantly, MVP Baseball. That's my 1-1.
1-2. Let me rock the world. Mario Super Sluggers on the Wii.
Damn.
I see
That
Prevo.
was my pick.
Here's my thing though. Good pick. Okay, you know what? First, I'm going to congratulate you, but I think you could have stolen that dude in like the
Oh
third
no, I've
round.
got other steals. Don't even worry. That
Other
was like the
steal.
one I had to get away with.
Well, now I'm scared because I have a steal in mind, and now you're just going to pick it.
Maybe,
So it's like, okay,
maybe. My next
all
one's gonna
right,
be lethal too.
all right. Prevo came to play, so Dom, and you
All
got
right.
back to back here.
So I was kind of torn between obviously the one I gave as an example, but I guess I get 2 picks here. So I'll go ahead and take NCAA football 14 off the board.
Natural. I think it's always a first
Yeah.
round pick. It's preference at this point, but I think it's always a first round no matter what.
Yeah.
So
And then I have some ones that I'm not sure if I can use as steals or not. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a little bit of a recency bias and go with NBA 2K17.
interesting. Of the 2Ks, I do thoroughly
coulda-
enjoy that one.
That
But
was
I,
the best. That was
I
the best park year for me.
I like that you did. I'd like that you saved it for your second round pick.
Well,
I'll
of
say that
course,
because I
yeah.
would have.
Of
Yeah,
course,
yeah,
NCAA 14 is better than 2K17.
yeah. I
Yeah.
just 2K17 is not a bad one for
I was a
the.
big 2K15 guy.
That might have been the last good. We can discuss that real quick. That might have been the last good 2K, right? Am I wrong, or is that like?
Last one I played, that's for sure.
I mean, like it went downhill quick, like real quick.
17 was the last one I played a lot because that was the year after they released the 3 different parks. So there was like the Rough Riders,
Yes,
Ballers.
that was my best. My team. Holy cow! I had like Diamond. I had the MVP Diamond. Steph Curry 99.
Yep.
I had the Pink Diamond Shaq, Pink Diamond Mike. Like I had my whole lineup was Pink Diamond or Diamond. That's what it was, and it was disgusting. But
That's the best. That was probably the best year of my team as well because the year after that they just released all of the random gems and stuff, and there was no rhyme or reason to how
they started focusing on the park stuff and making people spend VC to get to like that's where all the rewards were my park, but you had to spend money to get good at my park, so that was always tough. But anyway, I think we can go ahead and go to Prevo.
So 2-2. This is either going to absolutely bring you back to the greatest days of your life, or you're going to go look up what this is after the pod, and you're going to realize that you have had a monstrously disappointing childhood because you didn't play this game.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 2 words, and you're already going to know what it is. Dom's going to know what it is. Little League. World Series Baseball 2009 on the Wii.
That
one's a banger.
Bangers. You go. Wing ping one ting wing ping ping ping, and it was a home run. That's literally what it sounded like.
Back-to-back Wii baseball games.
Yeah, I had to. So let's see it for 2-3.
Both games did the freeze frame for homers.
Like, yeah, literally. Yeah.
Dude, I'm about to kill y'all with my. I'm more excited for my second pick on this one. I'm more excited for my second pick. I know what I'm picking second. I don't even know what I'm picking right now. I got a lot of choices. And I'm thinking. Madden 2004 with Mike.
Oh, I thought you were about to say my favorite Madden. Sorry.
I thought you were about to take my pick too, so I'm chill. We got Madden.
There's a lot of
Maddens.
There's a lot of good Maddens too. Yes, absolutely.
04
but that's,
though is your pick.
With Mike Vick, absolutely. Oh man, dude, him playing as Mike Vick in that game, it was like Bo Jackson's game all over again. Like it was crazy. But however, this sleeper of the century here, boys, and I'm gonna pick it right now because I'm afraid that Prevo is gonna snipe it right after I say it. So I gotta say now, Wii Sports.
Damn.
Oh.
Wii Sports.
Was my next pick.
In the third round. Wii Sports in the third round.
That's Yep. That was my next pick. So
great. I'm putting a star next to that. What an all-star third round grab.
Good. Thank you. Thumbs up.
Okay. Now you're making me rethink. I feel like I need to think more like I think I need to go for less of a reach, especially since we're doing honorable mentions here. Because mine's good and you guys aren't going to think of it, but it's good for a little HM. So
I'm just now realizing I definitely should have taken Wii Sports since Prevo didn't play many 2Ks. But I
played no 2K. I played 2K15 and 16, 17.
Those are all good ones. Those were fine. Yep. You played in the best era. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Let's see for a sports game. Dude, that's not going to get picked though. That's not going to get picked. Dude, I'm going to take it, though, because there's going to be people out here that are really going to appreciate this, and they're going to be happy that I didn't leave it for an honorable mention. And it's a big part of my life. So I'm going to go MX versus ATV.
Unleashed?
Oh. Yes, Unleashed.
Yes.
Me and Chris Collins. Oh, I just doxed him so hard. I'm so sorry. Edit. We don't edit.
That's such a good game.
Nobody sees this. But anyway, me and this friend, literally all summer long, that's all we would play. We would go up and we would play. No, I can't say it because it's gonna be
a game.
Oh no, we would play blank and also that the MX versus ATV Unleashed, and we would sprint as hard as we could to the outside of the free play map just to get launched back, like however many miles. Like
with
that's
the rock music in the background, just
yes. Just holding go. Just holding it down, dude. Not even touching anything else, just holding it down. That's a good one, though. That's a good
Yeah.
pull in the
All
third.
right, let's hear 3-3.
All right, here we go. I'm going with
Oh my God, we're going 4 rounds, dude.
Yeah.
Oh no.
This is your last pick.
Okay,
right.
well, I think I'm just gonna use that honorable mention then.
All right, we're going with Madden 09 All Play on the Wii. Specifically, the 5v5 big heads on the small field where you could just sling the Wii remote for touchdowns. That was the most fun game mode ever.
I've never played that game.
I've
Never
seen
played that?
before.
Oh my gosh, it's got Brett Favre on the cover. That is the best. That is the best.
I was like,
That's
I was sitting there. I was like, I can't be the only one, right? Like, I was like, have I ever played that game?
Oh my God.
It's so
It
fun.
sounds
Well,
when you said Brett Favre on the cover, that sounds more right. Like I actually kind of remember that. I think Ryan had it, didn't
yeah,
he?
he
I
did.
think he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan had a
Well, if
lot
we
of
ever
Wii
hang
games.
out, we'll play that and we'll play it all night because it's
Okay.
so much fun.
Sick. All
It's
right.
literally just 5v5. It's great.
So that was your third. So
That was
four.
my
All right.
third pick.
Kick us
It's
off with your
4-1
last
here
one here.
too.
All right. This one is kind of tough because
I thought it was 3 rounds.
It's Mount Rushmore base. I said 4 rounds.
I know, but I didn't know, but I know, and now I forgot.
Yeah,
But now I'm
I
here.
got you.
I'm kind of torn because there's games that I played so much and grinded them, but I wouldn't say that they're the greatest games of all
I
time.
know that's why I'm struggling right now with 2. I don't even have my next pick, to be honest. But yeah, I
Oh,
get you.
I have mine. Locked and loaded.
So I'm trying to think about also games that I loved growing up. And I did play a lot of the 2Ks each year, but I did play a more recent The Show that I really liked, which is hard to claim as one of the best video games of all time. But I think I'm going to put it on my list just for the hours I put into it, and that is
No.
MLB The Show 19.
Yes! Take it! Let's go! Let's go!
I wish I was drafting before Prevo because I think I was about to take his. Oh man, it's the one that me and you were like, you're gonna take it because it's the one me and you had that one summer where we were going back and forth with like our Jacob deGrom cards and
And
stuff.
with
So go
the
ahead.
4.2 pick in the draft,
I already wrote it down. Let's see if I got it.
we are going to take, and I will never lead you from an open door. MLB The Show 21.
Yep.
That's what I was trying to do to you, bro. When you said in the show I was going to get you on the 21, and then you said 19. Yes, dude. Let's go. The soundtrack, the cards, the grind for the Schwarber Lightning card that you went on.
I got that card too. That was such a good card.
You got that free Tim Anderson card just because he played in the Field of Dreams and he was like the best shortstop in the game for a while.
MF Sheets.
Did I ever show you? Did I ever show you my lineup, Dom? I know I showed Prevo.
I felt the wrath of his lineup.
I definitely saw it when I was with Prevo.
I don't think there was a. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Prevo would always want to play me real quick. I would be like trying to complete like the hardest missions. And like I would do that because my team was so good, and then Prevo would be like, "Oh, I got a new card. I want to play you," and I would just smoke him because like I just had so many good cards, and I changed my pitchers around too. I didn't just use DeGrom like the All-Star DeGrom card. Like I had both DeGrom cards, but like I had a disgusting lineup. Anyway, that kind of screwed me over here because now I think I got to pull in this one.
Yeah, I didn't even own that game, but Prevo and I played a ton in his apartment.
Yeah.
19 was the one that I actually played and grinded. And I had my favorite card ever, which was the Signature Series Ichiro Suzuki card. That was insane. It was a hit every time. PCI was huge.
Anyway.
4-3.
I don't know, man. I think I got to do it. NFL Street Volume 3.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a good one.
That was my honorable mention this whole time. From the second round, dude, I knew I was going to say NFL.
I'll go ahead and give you NBA Street. dude, that like Dr. J with the stuff you could do between the legs, throw it from half court, dude. That was a sick game on the PS2.
Awesome.
Um,
I have a great honorable mention.
All right,
Madden
let's go honorable
'07.
mentions. Do you want to just do one each? Let's just go bang, bang, bang,
Just
no
go, yeah.
explanations.
Yeah.
Well,
And just
okay,
go
okay,
left.
okay. Yeah.
So
Okay.
Chris is first.
Oh shoot. Okay, I said so many of mine. Oh man. Uh, Marco Bellinelli, NBA Live '09. Dude, that man played like Kobe Bryant. That's it.
Did you say NBA or NFL Street for your last
NFL Street 3.
NFL Street? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, that one for
All
me.
right, my honorable mention. Let's see. I had NFL Street for the record, so I'm completely lost right now. Um, if you know, you can skip me.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, go ahead, Dom. Yeah.
I'm going with NBA Jam on the iPhone.
Oh, that was a sneaky good one. That's
Oh
a
my
sneaky.
God, you've just led me into the most fabulous honorable mention that can ever be said. And I feel like your face is kind of making me think you feel it a little bit. But it's also a mobile game. It's also a
Okay.
mobile game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Madden Mobile.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one too.
The mobile games were always going to be the honorable mentions. They had to be.
Okay, to recap the draft quickly, we have this is the first round. MVP Baseball, Super Sluggers, NCAA 14.
Banger.
Second round, 2K17, Little League World Series Baseball 2009, Madden '04. Third round, Wii Sports, MX versus ATV, Madden '09. On the Wii. Round 4, Show 19, Show 21, and NFL Street.
Great
Yeah,
round.
that's pretty good.
That was
Comment who you think
awesome.
won. I think that's a really good one. Thank you, Dom, for that. But we will go ahead and
27 minutes later, we will now advance into today's topic.
That was a great
as
talk.
our podcast usually goes. Um, Anyway, so we'll be talking about the NFC North. As you can tell, we brought in, as he said, unbiased, if you can tell, correspondent, what we'll call him, correspondent for the NFC North. We basically are running an ESPN operation up here. You know, we're pretty professional like that.
From space, which is even more impressive.
Dude, who else does it from space, bro? So anyway, so I think we're going to go ahead and thanks to Cody, our other co-host, he sent in a list, and we're going to go in, I think, just based off of FanDuel odds is what we'll say as far as who they have winning the division. And we'll start off with a plus 155 to win the division.
Ooh.
The Detroit Lions. So, I mean, we're looking at maybe a win total of 10.5 is what they're putting out. We'll give our over under at the end of this after we review them, the Lions, that is. And I don't know, they had some pretty big losses. I'll say that. Anybody have first comments on that one?
Sure, I'll take it away. I think that the loss of not one but both of their coordinators is pretty detrimental to a team where the head coach is primarily a locker room style guy.
Very
I
true.
know that he is the one to make a lot of the end game calls, and one of my friends who's a giant Lions fan may have other opinions on that, but I think it's pretty apparent
I'll say
that
something about that real quick. Lions fans, stop it. You literally when he makes that call and it goes right, he's the best thing in the world. Nobody can do wrong. Dan Campbell, yeah, that's why we love him because he does it. And then it goes wrong, and you're like, why does he do that? I don't. You can't have it both ways. It's it's not Burger King. This is life. It's not
right.
you can't have it your way. So, you know, if you want to sponsor us, Burger King, we'll be happy to do
Yeah,
that.
I eat so much Burger King. Please sponsor us,
I
please.
wish I could have it my way like I can at Burger King.
Yum, Whopper, 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 Whopper.
But but yeah, no, I just you can't have it both ways. So I think that's one thing I hate about the Lions fans. A quick little tangent there, but keep going. Sorry to interrupt.
No, Yeah, I do think that Dan Campbell brings a lot to the team, but Ben Johnson also significantly helped develop that offense and make it as hard to decipher and understand each and every game. Trick plays over and over. Each week there was a new play that you never thought you'd see before. Specifically, one that comes to mind is the Jared Goff tripping and then throwing a touchdown to Sam Laporta wide open. How do you think of that stuff? The new coordinator is probably not going to be able to be that crafty with the offense that they have. And then on the defensive side of the ball, they had so many injuries down the stretch, and Aaron Glenn was still able to put out a competent defense each and every week and have a competitive chance to make a run with literal third and fourth stringer defensive backs towards the end of the year. So I think that those two losses are a lot more significant than people think because you see that the head coach is still there and expect the same results. However, I think that some of their losses in the locker room are going to be larger than the players that they were able to retain on the field and Dan Campbell.
I think you hit a lot of good points. I think the thing is Aaron Glenn, they were 20th in total defense, so I was looking at the stats there. But you're right. I mean, it was very much a next man. They didn't play like they were 20th. If you saw them play, they were hitting hard, on defense, and they were trying every
They get a
single
key
down.
piece back too this season.
Now, yep, Aiden does come back. I mean, he would have. They were saying he was ready if the Super Bowl came down to it. He was ready
Yeah.
to go. So, I believe I'm kind of glad they didn't get there then, almost because I didn't want Aiden to risk it at all because I think we're seeing a generational talent that could be better than T.J. Watt, and nobody thought there was going to be somebody close to T.J. Watt for a little bit there, and now we already have it with this young guy, and I'm glad that that wasn't a career-ending injury, but he does come back. I think John Morton, the new offensive coordinator, coming in, he did. I mean, he was with the Broncos last year. He was the passing game coordinator. I think we were talking about this before the podcast. He was the passing game coordinator and worked very closely with Bo Nix, and we saw how that turned out. So yeah, maybe they're not as crafty, but maybe we're just going to see a really dang good offense that's just not going to be as like I don't want to say gimmicky because Ben Johnson's stuff worked, and if something becomes gimmicky, it kind of doesn't work. So, but I would just say I think it's going to be really a potent offense still because of what he was doing in Denver under Sean Payton, and we'll see if that transfers. But I think the key part is that luckily Dan Campbell has the personality to hold it down for both sides as far as the locker room guy. Like he is the guy for the defense and he's the guy for the offense. Some head coaches are the locker room guy for the defense only, some are the offense only, so it's good that they still have that focal point, and I think he's going to do a really good job handling that locker room, and I think it's going to be more of a smooth transition than people are thinking. Now, does that mean they win the division? I don't know. They had some really good additions in the offseason. I think Zadarius Smith was a huge loss, to be honest, as far as like trying to replace that. Aiden does come back, so it's kind of like, but where's his help now on the line? I don't know. Over under 10.5. It's the Lions. I almost, they replaced the guys they lost in a sense, and they get a guy back, kind of like what we were talking about with Derek Brown and the Panthers. Like technically, they're getting a whole new addition, but he never left. So I say over, but maybe not winning the division. I don't know. That's kind of my bold prediction. I would also say over 10.5, but not winning.
I mean, I really wouldn't be surprised if all of these teams in this division didn't get close to over.
I know that's that's like the
it's just one
sucky
of those
part.
things.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. What over under Prevo.
I say over as well. Yeah, I agree with the over.
Okay.
Yeah, and through 6 games last year when all the teams were healthy, we were projecting all of the teams to get to 10 wins pretty easy.
Mm-hmm.
So when the injuries start to happen and the Bears do the Bears things, 10 wins becomes a little bit more difficult. But
Yeah.
in today's NFL, I think that 10 wins is sort of the bar to make the playoffs. And if you think that the Lions are a 10-win team, I think they're going to hit that threshold. So I'm going to take the over.
Yeah, there you go. All right, I'll lastly ask this on the count of 3. Hold up. Where you think they're going to finish in the division? All right. And I'll do 3, 2, 1, go. All right. 3, 2, 1, go. Interesting. Interesting from the unbiased correspondent. So
Yeah, I mean they've had our number as of recent, so I think Dan Campbell knows something, and they come into Lambeau and beat us in the rain last year. So it would take a lot to, or I would be very pleased with wins this year.
That's
I
actually what
like
I
it.
have written down for the Packers is they need to beat the Lions. Like
Yep.
Mhm.
they're well, we'll get there when we get there. But
Yep.
yeah, for your point, I did have down they need to beat the Lions.
All right. I like it. I like it. All
It
right.
could be decided by those games.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah. So I like it. I like it. So speaking of good transition, we have the Packers at plus 250 according to FanDuel to
Yeah.
win the division.
Good value.
Um, yep, I'll go ahead and kind of introduce the win totals and then I'll just give it away to Dom here. Just it just seems like I have a feeling he knows more about the Packers. It's just a gut feeling, but win total 9.5. They had some key additions with Aaron Banks, McCole Hardman, and Nate Hobbs. I do like that name at the end. I will say for you guys, that's my one key point. Losses though, you had T.J. Slatton, A.J. Dillon, Eric Stokes, and then we picked up some good draft picks here. Do you want me to list them for you, or do you think you can probably get them as far as your?
Yeah, I'll probably loop those
I'll
into
let
the
you take it away. Go
discussion
ahead.
as well. So one of the other key losses that is probably the biggest loss that isn't listed here is Jair
I was
Alexander
waiting for that
is
one.
now gone.
Yep, yep.
So that is a big loss when you hear the name. However, he played in less than 50% of the games for the last 3 years. So when you look at that, in the games he played, was he amazing? Absolutely. He had a pick six in one of the games he played last year and consistently locked down the number one receiver on every single team that we faced. So losing him in terms of a locker room guy and his on the field play is huge when he's on the field. And the fact that he wasn't on the field for a grand majority of the games last year, it's hard to not understand why he's leaving. And that may
I
have
don't.
sounded a bit convoluted, but I think for the money that we were going to have to pay him, it's not the worst loss.
Well, I'm going to bring up the whole saying. It's the best ability is availability. And but it's cheesy, but it's kind of true because I think with Hobbs is thing is with Jair, you do have a top three defensive back in the NFL when he's in. It's like J.C. Horn. J.C. Horn's top five, top three when he's in. But luckily he proved last season he could stay healthy, and we pulled him because he was like, I'm a little sore than usual, and we were like, well, we've already knocked out a bunch of teams. We're already on a good hot streak, right? Like we're not making the playoffs. You can sit out. That's the only reason why he didn't play the last two games is because it was coach's decision. Like it's okay, but
Yep.
he proved that contract that he got. So he's proving he can turn that around. I think with Hobbs is that you get something is that the ability to stay on the field, the ability to stay healthy, but also he is a very very good cornerback. He might not be total lockdown, not top 5, not top 10, but he's very much cemented in he can start on a lot of teams as covering the number one. So
Yep.
and plus you get the ability to stay on the field. So I think it's a good, again, like you said, it's a good money saver as far as we're already paying him a lot of money for playing 50% of snaps in the last 3 years. So let's just go ahead and, sorry, buddy, but we got Hobbs coming in. So I don't know, Prevo, you got any thoughts on it?
I'd say my strongest take for the Packers this season, and Dom's gonna like this one, is I think we see an increase in effectiveness from Josh Jacobs for sure, especially with the addition of Golden. And I don't know, I think it's gonna mesh a lot better. The Packers receivers are young. They can't do anything but get more comfortable with time, especially moving around on the field. And so yeah, I think Josh Jacobs is gonna definitely get used more, and if not more, at least get some more yards per carry when he is used.
Yeah. I
What would you say your biggest weakness was last year as a pack, like watching the Packers, Dom? What would you say as far as a fan of them?
in the games that we lost, I think one of the glaring things for me was that we couldn't stop the run. That was getting us torched.
Do you
And
think that was addressed? That's the one thing I'll say.
I think so. And I think it was addressed through the development of our own guys that we had. So we lose TJ Slayton. but he didn't really play that much. He was a third string interior guy. So he came in to stop the run, but wasn't necessarily an X factor player or anything of that nature. Kenny Clark came out in a press conference recently and mentioned that he was fighting through some injuries last year, and that's why you did not see the All-Pro and Pro Bowl defensive tackle that you expect when you watch Kenny Clark play football. And Devontae Wyatt was also out for a few games due to injury, and the games where he did play, he was our best run-stopping defensive tackle on the team. So
I think it all just kind of boils down to like y'all are also going into finally another like a full year with the same defensive coordinator. So
right.
I think I think it was a little sometimes the schemes were maybe a little bit rusty last year as far as like okay this is something new and but now they've had a full year of free agency of draft to draft players and acquire players that fit within this scheme and plus the players that have already been into it. So but because of all that I have them over, and then I'll say 3, 2, 1, go, and we'll hold up because I think we're
What was
not.
their line again?
As far as over under, 9.5.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
over as well.
over.
I think
Yeah.
that's where I feel them is getting to 10 wins, playing as they should. Put
I
it
mean,
that
it's
way.
gonna be like if some of us had the lines at like 11, the Packers are gonna be at
Dude,
10. I
I wouldn't even be scared to say that there's an opportunity for them to take over the first spot in the division.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah. All right.
I think it's very likely. And I think that the thing about the Packers is we do what we need to do to beat the teams that we should beat. And that's where a lot of wins are added to the win column, not to be redundant, in the NFL is beating the teams that you should beat. You're going to play at least three teams that you're a minus 200 plus favorite, and you should beat them every single time. And the Packers consistently do that. And that's how they make the playoffs. Even the years that we squeak in, we play the Jags and dominate them. We play, name any team that's sub 500. We have a great record against them in the last 2 years. And that's why we're able to make the playoffs and give ourselves a shot. And this year could be the year that we actually capitalize against the teams that may be a bit more of a challenge.
Hmm.
I like that. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. All right.
Oh,
Why did I get balloons?
are
All
you
right.
looking at your phone?
I don't know. I just did the deuces and I got balloons. I don't know how that
I
was
put the one
possible.
again. So I'll explain my one. So I think this is the year that I think Green Bay can potentially I think they're gonna go 1-1, but potentially sweep the series with Detroit. I think the addition to finally help Jordan Love out in the draft and do something that they never did to Aaron Rodgers, draft a wide receiver in the first round and absolutely capitalize on his big playmaking ability and Jordan Love's arm, and something that I completely fell in love with out of Utah State whenever I was kind of wanting them to pick him up as like a day 2, day 3 type of pick, but Green Bay swooped in. So props to them for drafting him. I think again,
Traded up and shocked the world.
exactly. I think it was great waiting behind Aaron Rodgers. It obviously is paying off for you guys, and I think where Jordan Love thrives is in the play action, and I think they're just going to start feeding Josh Jacobs more. And the thing is now you got to play action with probably a deep post and Matthew Golden going down the field. Like, good luck covering that. So
Yep.
hopefully him and Matt have a good connection in the off season. Hopefully it grows, and we could see something absolutely potent, especially with the very key defensive. I think some upgrades. Obviously the big talent, that did leave, but we talked about. And I think it's a full second year in the defense coordinator. I think they shock it and take it. I think they take it from Detroit. I think not that Detroit's a bad team. I think they also make the wild card playoffs spot. If they do come in second, I think they're solidly still in the playoffs. They're a great team. It's just I think you cannot tell me that losing both of your coordinators does not affect you too much. You know what it's like. I know Dan Campbell's going to pull through, and he's pulling through by leading them to the wild card while Green Bay takes the division. That's my projection.
I
Yeah.
So
like it. I think that'll
I,
be interesting to see it play out.
yeah, I totally agree. And I think one more personnel note that kind of complements both of your points, which is the play action and the Josh Jacobs effectiveness, is Last year, we drafted Jordan Morgan in the first round, and he was a tackle, and he played only 2 or 3 games last year because he was suffering from injury. And then we gave him the rest because there was really no use to try and put him out there and risk further injury. And we signed Aaron Banks, which is under the radar. You didn't really see that on NFL posting that on Instagram, kind of under the radar. You
Our
only
correspondent Cody did. He said key additions. Aaron Banks. Shout out
did.
Cody. He called it out.
He did
Yo,
snipe
Cody,
that one.
shout out to you out there, bro.
So I think that those are
In the booth.
two big ads for this season, and I consider Jordan Morgan an ad because, as I said, he didn't really play much last year. So those will greatly help. Josh Jacobs, 4+ yards per carry, and then you fake it to him. Everybody's open.
Yeah.
Jordan Morgan sounds a lot like Jordan Mason to me. So the Minnesota Vikings are next, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They would be next at plus 270. So pretty close up there with Green Bay and still not too far away from Detroit Lions.
I didn't expect those odds. But like, so
win total 8.5.
Under.
I was actually thinking, like, when you work from the bottom up of this division, you see the Bears, you immediately think last. You see the Vikings, and part of you wants to immediately think second. And then you have to read the Packers and the Lions. So the NFC North is just like that, to say the least. But I think the Vikings are going to be awesome. I don't know about awesome, but I think they're going to be fun to watch. And also, hot take. I know I'm rambling, but hot take, because I love these. Aaron Jones is phased out. Aaron Jones gets phased out fast. Fast.
Interesting.
Especially after the fumbles in last season.
But
I may be biased because I had him on my fantasy team for 14 weeks. But
Aaron Jones, didn't he have a fumbling problem with the Packers too?
That's my point. That's my point. He fumbles the ball, and you have Jordan Mason, which is like, I don't know. I feel like he can produce, and he holds on to
Jordan Mason's such a third down back, though. Like, I don't think he can.
I mean, I don't know. He showed he was pretty dang effective with the 49ers.
And he let me lose a few pounds and put me in Kyle Shanahan's offense. I'm gaining at least a yard.
Aaron Jones' X factor to make the Vikings run game look good because it's just him.
I mean, I can't say that. Jordan Mason was on my fantasy team for that week and lit it up. So I mean, I respect the man, and yes, he's a good running back. He's shifty, absolutely. He has that. He's the acceleration over the speed, which makes him shifty, and that's really respectable. But I mean, but that's why he's third down, because it's kind of like he's that guy that's like give shovel pass, quick screen, give him a little something to move, but don't let him run up the middle like 500 times. Kyle Shanahan had him zone running to the outside. Even his inside runs are zone runs. They're zone blocking schemes the entire time, which opens up holes everywhere, especially in that offensive line.
Yeah, well,
sorry, I'm getting really.
Yeah. No, you're making good points though, because even in those positions, he can also turn around and catch the ball, which is what you're saying.
Yeah, I think and that's what he's good at. So just be that. He's great at that, and teams will sign that all day. Like we did that with Rico Dowdle. Like he knows that he's not going to be the primary back because Chuba's the man. But that's another. I respect Rico. And not saying again, I feel bad because I'm not. I give him the respect because he's great at what he does, but I just don't think he's as great if you put him in a position he's not wanting to play or not used to playing. So that's what I'll say. That's a better way of putting it. Yeah. But I don't know. Here's my thing. Here's my own personal take. Sam Darnold, all right? He was started last year because JJ McCarthy, unfortunate injury. I was actually really looking forward to watching him because not that I'm rooting for him to be good because Jim Harbaugh's offense at Michigan, and everywhere he goes, it's always going to be run heavy. But when he dropped back to pass, it looked good. You know what I mean? So I was kind of like, where is this going to go? So then he gets drafted. And think about this. With Sam Darnold in camp, both throwing to number ones, Kevin O'Connell was like, JJ McCarthy's going to be our starter. That was predetermined.
And it wouldn't be a bad idea to have him come in with a completely new O-line as well, because they only have one remaining O-line.
Correct.
This year.
Correct. And they kind of addressed it. as far as interior, which is good for
Yeah.
blocking reasons because you need interior offensive line to protect young quarterbacks, which is what we solved with Bryce Young, thank goodness. So, um, anyway, he was the number one, but then Sam comes in and he does what he did. So, what did JJ look like in camp to make him number one? Because he still has Addison, he still has Justin Jefferson. He has the same things that Sam Darnold had that made Sam Darnold look really, really good for that fat contract he got to go to Seattle. So, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, maybe it's not so wildly out there that they do get 9 wins, that they maybe are battling Detroit or Green Bay for second in the division.
Is it if it's
Potential.
over 8.5? I'm gonna just say I think it's over. I think it's over 8.5.
I mean, but you know what I'm trying just to give. I'm trying to play devil's advocate here because I get it. We can slander oh man, yeah, I forgot they don't have Sam anymore. So now but it's like they had him though in the offseason. They were working with him. He was the number one guy, no question about it, according to Kevin O'Connell. They addressed the interior offensive line. Um, Maybe they do get a setback, but maybe JJ, I feel like if the worst of the worst I don't think involves JJ McCarthy being a bust, if that makes sense. I think they just have a setback because they did lose more than they gained. I will say this offseason. They addressed some things, but they got some holes that it's gonna take a season to get some contracts off the books and rebuild that. So, I don't know. That's my thing. I think the thing is, I don't you can't place over on everybody in the division because that just does the mathematically
Right.
doesn't equate.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
So it's like if I have over, it's like maybe Green Bay and Detroit are that good this year. Especially Green Bay takes a leap forward. Detroit kind of stays the same. Maybe gets a tiny bit worse. It's like maybe they do just get beat up, and maybe it's an under. So maybe I'll take the under at 8. I would put them under 8.5, under at 8.
Yeah, and I'm going to take the under as well. And I think the main reason for that is JJ McCarthy, although we've discussed that he had the starting job going into last year, he suffered a major injury
Yeah.
and has not played at NFL speed except for in the preseason. And as we know, preseason cannot really tell you much about a player as far as how they'll produce in a real NFL game. It can maybe give you some insights, but for the most part, you will be
Keep going. I'm not
you'll
laughing at you. I'm so sorry.
no worries. You'll be given the opportunity to.
Hold on. This is going in my podcast. Hold on. My wife um is trying to sneak into my room to get cleaning supplies. She thought she could be seen.
No, we're in space, sweetheart.
No, we're in space, babe. It's okay. You're not seen. You're not up there with me. Anyway.
Yeah. So as I said, he suffered a pretty major injury and has not played at NFL speed yet. So it'll be interesting to see how he comes out of the gates this year. He'll obviously get those reps in preseason this year as well, but I think it may take a few games for him to get adjusted. And with the NFC North being so competitive, as we saw last year, and even more so this year with some of the moves that have been made around the division, I think that the Vikings may be in for a rude awakening, especially with the losses of Cam Bynum and Stephon Gilmore. And you may think, yeah, Stephon Gilmore's washed, but he's a veteran and he was there to teach the younger guys how to
I think Bynum
produce
was
at
a
the NFL level.
huge
And
loss. But
Cam Bynum
they did not
definitely.
address. That's another thing. So, and that's why it's like I think the reason why there's a setback is because of the defense. That's my main thing. I really do think Kevin O'Connell is just that guy. He's another type of Shanahan guy, which I don't know if he's from the Shanahan coaching tree, but what I mean is there's just that offense that is so potent. It's like how I was talking about Shanahan's offense for running backs. Could be for quarterbacks too. I think Brock Purdy just makes it look really good, and hopefully he stays in San Francisco for a long time, as his contract indicates. That's minus the fact that Kevin O'Connell runs a similar type of thing where it's like quarterbacks look pretty dang good in that offense. So, and hopefully, I think with medicine, medical technology and modern medicine and surgeries, I mean, ACL hopefully isn't too big of a deal. I mean, Thomas Davis, linebacker, Panthers legend, should be Hall of Famer. We'll see. But tore his same ACL in his left knee 3 times in his career, 3 times, and he still came back and played. So, um, and that was way back when. So we'll see. It's still that is still major, and I do see your point there. But again, it kind of defense is what I'm thinking as far as the setbacks go. But all right, we'll say this will be interesting. I think we'll see where I'm interested where Dom places them. So 3, 2, 1, go.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Again, I'm kind of it's funny though. I had 3 thrown up under here, and I was like gut feeling 4. I
I
for
was
some
gonna
reason,
say a lot of the recent talk in this conversation made me want to throw him at 4, but I think
Yeah.
it was just because it was like recent on my mind. But I still
yeah,
think I don't know. I have a lot
yeah.
more negative for
I,
the Bears on here than I do for the Vikings.
Yeah.
I That's interesting to me. So we'll get to that. That's very interesting to me. Okay. Um, Bears, by far, not the closest. Plus 550
Yeah.
handle. 6.5 win total. So I don't know, pretty low.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know how you don't say like I don't know. I feel like you have to
Ben,
want them to go
I
over.
mean, you want me to start off this I'll go ahead and just talk about the elephant that's standing in everybody's room. Ben Johnson. I almost would be more impressed if they hired him as the offensive coordinator. Hot
Yeah,
take.
dude,
I don't know if
that's a
I don't know if
nice.
that's as hot as a take as I'm thinking, but
I don't
I
know. I
mean,
was gonna say like that is. I don't know either because I kind of like
he
that
never
take.
struck me. I really like locker room guys as head coaches. That's just my take. I mean, obviously, I'd like them to specialize in something, like whether it's developing
Yeah,
talent and
because
locker room or whatever. But
they talk about being micromanaged. This OC is about to get
dude,
micromanaged.
that's what I'm saying, dude, and
Like,
that's why it's like could there's 2 ways. This could be immediate crash and burn, or this could skyrocket to the stars for Caleb Williams and Bears future.
and I know I don't want to be a negative Nancy. I know there's not much to talk about with the Bears, but I think
I
we
mean,
are coming up on time soon.
for Caleb, are we talking like
No, like
potential?
time, this recording has
Oh,
stopped time.
oh shoot. Okay, well here I'll say this then. Uh, I think he would have been more impressive as offensive coordinator. I don't think he has the same locker room guy. Maybe he learned some stuff from Dan Campbell as far as how to carry that over, and hopefully he does. I think that's how they succeed is taking from Dan Campbell and what he potentially taught him as leading a locker room. They lost Jalen Johnson. Jalen Johnson was a huge loss, but also I think they kind of are addressing that with people who are already on the team who looked really good when it came up to
Yeah,
stepping up, and that defense looks really good. Caleb Williams under a Ben Johnson offense, if it's cohesive with the offensive coordinator and the offense, and they're not butting heads, I think can thrive with the gimmicky type of stuff because that's very USC type of Lincoln Riley type of things they were doing there. So
good
I
point.
think it's overall good. However, I feel like there's going to be a firing of the offensive coordinator after this season, and I would not be afraid to put them under because of that.
Yeah.
That's my quick as I could overall Bears take.
I wouldn't completely. I agree with most of that. I think that Caleb Williams may not see a breakout season this year, but I think his improvement and sort of welcoming into the NFL begins this season, especially with the sort of I don't know, personally, I've obviously never been coached by Ben Johnson, but if I through the TV had to make a guess, I would say he's somewhat of a nurturing type, which Caleb Williams did not by any stretch of the imagination have. And I think he's a mama's boy. We've seen him cry in our arms. He needs somebody to nurture him and sort of, I don't want to say hold his hand through this experience, but like lead
Build
him
confidence.
up the stairs, if you will,
And
through this sort of monumental task of becoming an
Dan
NFL
Campbell was
quarterback.
also not that type of guy.
No, no, exactly. And I don't know. I think that we're going to see the start of Caleb Williams' career this season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
my takes are I think that we've seen a lot of really good offensive coordinators become head coaches in recent history, And for the most part, they've all worked out. And this could potentially be one of those times where it doesn't. I think it's kind of due in some sense. Maybe that's just reading through superstition, but I think that the odds are kind of leaning towards that this is an amazing offensive coordinator, but not the best guy for a head coaching job. But we'll definitely see that. And I think one of the biggest takeaways from their offseason so far for me is the loss of Keenan Allen. If you watched any Bears games last year, Caleb, anytime he was under pressure, was looking for him and targeted him. The throws may have not been great, but this dude was getting 8+ targets a
Didn't
game.
they get 2 new wide receivers though?
They did pick
Luther
up
Burden being one of them.
right. They drafted one.
I mean, I know they're not Keenan Allen level NFL wide receivers in
Right.
terms of their career. I'm just saying those are 2 good additions to have with DJ
Well, not only
Moore just
that,
getting better.
Caleb might not be running at. I mean, they got a little better offensive line too. I mean, they didn't
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
did.
they didn't get slam dunk guys, but they got like, oh, that's a nice little jumper. That's better than, that's from the elbow. That's Tim Duncan textbook.
Right.
Like they got a little better than what they had last year, especially with depth now too. So,
Yeah.
I think it's still there's work to be done. And I think if Ben Johnson came in last year, it would have been holy cow terrible. But I think it's a little better of a first step, as far
Right.
as maybe we'll see. I don't think his seat's gonna be immediately hot. I think there's room to give.
Oh yeah,
especially
for
Ben.
sure.
So, that's just my thing. But
Like, I mean, we're sitting here looking at this is a quick point, not to go on a tangent, but we're sitting here looking at it over and under 6.5. This is not a, oh, if you don't make the playoffs, you're in a tough spot. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah,
People know
correct.
it's a developing year. I think Rome Odunze is going to have to take a big step up in the slot position.
And I hope he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens this year as a developing year. And to Prevo's point, we'll see Caleb take a step up. Given Ben Johnson's natural demeanor, I think that'll be a confidence builder for him. And there'll be a little bit more of a cemented feeling for him in terms of his coaches and who he can trust.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good point. Well, I think on that note, since we're getting close to time, I just want to say I appreciate you, Dom, for
Thank
not
you
only
for having me.
yeah,
This
of
is
course,
super
of course.
fun. This is a super fun episode. I enjoyed
This
this.
is good. This was
Great
really
time.
chill. So thank you for being our first guest. I think you were the right pick to be our first guest, especially given the history of I think all of our friendships and kind of what we were talking about earlier. So
And the jersey on the couch.
and the jersey, that definitely helped. But
MVP.
yeah, we'll have to figure out more ways to potentially get you on in the future and involve you a little more. So, but
Great.
appreciate you, Dom, and yeah, go like, subscribe if you see this, share it with your friends.
Comment something.
Ring a ding 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 that bell.
Ring a ding a ding that bell. Come on now.
Comment any
And,
video games we missed that you
and
played.
Also that.
Prevo, who should take the honor, me or you, for Cody?
Oh, you got it. You got it.
I got it. All right.
Yes.
And until then, everyone, stay average. So, see you guys later.
Peace.